Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to the 6 News channel. Today we're going to go over all the new stuff in Rainbow Six Extraction. Now I did have a video looking at the new enemy types already, however that video got accidentally copyright striked by Ubisoft and they're trying to clear it now, but that video is gone. So we're going to start this video off by actually looking at our new enemy types. And we've got the Feral Grunts, which is just an upgraded version of the basic enemy. And of course the Grunts are the dumbest and easiest to kill in this game, but the Feral Grunts, you know, take it up a notch to the point of where they're not much more difficult to kill, but if there's a lot of them then it really gets very hard, and so far I've been enjoying the addition of these. Also, the new enemies have been dropping into the game quite frequently when I play. I thought maybe it'd be quite rare to see them, or maybe they'd show up too much, but it just seems to be perfect, nice natural amount. But moving on, we have the next new enemy, which is the Storm Spiker, and these are, I would say, easier than normal spikers because they charge up and they fire their shot and then they have to charge up again. They're actually, I think, a little bit easier to deal with than the normal spikers. But because they're projectile tracks, it means if you, say, are taking on a couple of enemies in front of you and one of them just comes up behind you and starts shooting at you, they might be able to do some serious damage. So these guys are definitely no walk in the park, but I think compared to normal spikers, they're not really as bad. And then we have the final new enemy, which is the Smoker. Now, these guys so far have been a lot easier than the other bloaters to deal with. The other bloaters, I hate it when there's just like a ton of them and you have to deal with them constantly exploding and running up to you. These guys seem a little bit less aggressive in some way, and of course you don't take any damage from their smoke, and even being close to them when they explode, it feels like they do a lot less damage than the usual ones as well. But certainly if there's a bunch of these and they're getting in the way, and especially with the new spikers and stuff that can be shooting through their smoke at you, it gets a little bit more difficult at times. Now I said that was the final new enemy, but that's not entirely true. We also have the Immortal Smasher. That is a parasite mutation, and this is of course the gameplay modifiers you sometimes get when you load into incursions. And this enemy type seems to be far harder to find because of course it's just a mutation in a single incursion. I think it's just, you know, the chances are lower. So it took me like 2 days to finally find this guy. But when I did, there was a random thinker on my team, and I think she was like trying to kill him to begin with, and it was quite, you know, funny to watch. And this is great because the current Smasher is just super easy to deal with if you have a gadget that can stun them. But this guy is literally unkillable, or well, not entirely, because I've seen multiple videos of people killing him on the helipad and in the airlock. If you change zones, he will die. So he is not exactly totally immortal, but certainly in normal gameplay you've got to deal with him, and of course you might be having objectives where you got to defend or stuff like that, and you have to have someone pull him away or kite him around or stuff, so it changes up the gameplay quite considerably with this guy. But anyway, moving on from that, we have more parasite mutations, and this one is revived Archaeans, which basically means if you don't get like a headshot or a hit on a weak spot of the enemy, they will come back to life. And this felt much more like a zombie apocalypse when this was on, and your ammo would just disappear. So I was just having fun just gunning down grunts and then just watching them revive. They'll also stay on the ground for a couple of seconds. You cannot actually walk up and get a kill shot as well to finish them off. But yeah, by far this is one of the ones that I've been really freaking enjoying. And then next up is spontaneous exploding mines. So these are very effective actually. They don't just explode and do damage, but they also root you to the ground as well, and been quite impressed with them. I think there's going to probably be a SOAR variation enemy that comes in at some point as well, who will actually drop these mines. But we've also got a variation of this mutation as well, which drops the flash mines too. And yeah, pretty effective, pretty good, and a nice little game changer right there. Then we have the Arcane Havoc. I wasn't able to find this in a suitable incursion. I did have it come up a couple of times, but there was like no defense objectives, so it was very hard to try it out. But they just bust through doors and barricades and stuff instantly. But yeah guys, that's a little overview of the new enemies and mutations in the game, and I'm really impressed. Like I was totally expecting a couple of months of quietness from Extraction with maybe a few updates here and there, but this is actual proper gameplay getting added in after we've already just had the main event. So yeah, I'm really happy with this, and playing this over the last couple of days with this new additional stuff has been a lot of fun. It really adds in a ton more variety than there was before. It's also good that all of this new stuff has shown up quite easily for me, apart from the Immortal Smasher, but I'm not needing him to show up, regularly. And the great thing is we're already seeing this new stuff in the Maelstrom Protocol, which is of course the end game for this game. So as they add more, that end game continues to evolve as well. So what I'm seeing here is just a continuous evolution of the challenge of this game and it not getting stale. Now, whether they can keep this pace up with new content, that is of course the thing I'll have to see. But right now, I'm very, very happy and more than I was expecting to be at this point in the game's life. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching and I'll catch you next time.